Well, I'm afraid this isn't much of an interesting project. It's just a piece of thin plywood that I'm going to use to support the thermostat that I'm going to be building into a styrofoam box, a cool box, to use as what's called a proofing box. It's for people who bake bread or bake anything that uses yeast or sourdough, and we enjoy baking bread very much, and in modern houses the temperatures aren't really conducive to the growth of yeasts and sourdoughs. It used to be, of course, that you had the kitchen heated to 75 degrees or something because the big wood stove kept the kitchen warm all winter. Nowadays, of course, with central heating, we don't really have those kind of temperatures. So we built a box out of styrofoam that has a thermostat attached and a light bulb inside, and you can then adjust the temperature to any way, to whatever you like. And I built one for us to use, and it works very well, and my sister-in-law saw it, and since she has a birthday coming up and she was so delighted with this box, I thought I'd build her one. It's been a long time since I've made a video. Let's see if I can get you up here a little bit. There we are. Yeah, oh well, a little higher yet. This tripod is kind of difficult to deal with. So, hello, my name is Bruce. It's been a while, as I said, since I've made a video. Probably nearly 4 or 5 months, I guess. As some of you know, I'm trying to keep this thing straight here. It's on a ball joint rather than... There we go. As many of you know, I've had some health issues, and I'm at the end of my treatment now. I am attached to this little guy here. I'll see if I can get him up here to show you. Here, it's called a Baxter pump, and it pumps poison into my body. It's filled with, or it was filled with 5-fluorouracil, which is a cytostatic chemical that is supposed to, of course, keep any potential cancer cells from growing. Of course, it also keeps other things from growing and makes your mouth dry and plays havoc with your intestines and so on. It's attached to a little port that's on my that's under the skin on my collarbone here. I hope this doesn't freak anybody out. I'm not even sure I'll put this video up, but it's a little thing that's under my skin here. It has a silicone membrane, and they poke a needle through the skin into the membrane, and it puts the poison directly into my blood supply. This has the advantage, of course, that it doesn't mess up arteries in my arm or anywhere else, and aside from the fact that I got a thrombosis in my right arm because of it, it hasn't really caused me any serious suffering. I'm talking about this because a number of people have asked what my experience has been with the chemotherapy, and like I say, I'm not absolutely sure I'll put this up. I'm not sure how appropriate it is, but I thought I'd make it anyway, if for no one else, for myself, so I can remember. It's been a very interesting experience. In fact, having a cancerous tumor removed was an interesting experience, because when the doctor tells you, he uses the big C, as I call it, telling you have cancer, then life somehow changes very drastically. And you can of course deal with the situation in various ways. Some of us have more difficulty than others. For me it was, well, a little bit ironical because I was a cancer researcher actually. I'm a retired scientist. I'm 72 years old now, and I worked on cancer, not treatment or therapy, but looking for some of the early events that causes normal cells to become cancerous, with some success. At least almost 100 publications. So there was some success to my work, but of course that didn't keep me from getting a tumor, did it? It wasn't likely to either. And in fact, quite truthfully, I've lost many of my colleagues in the cancer research field exactly to the disease that they were working on. It's no one is safe from this disease, and as we get more and more information about it, it looks like it's inevitable. The disease is actually inevitable because the way our bodies are constructed, if you live long enough and you don't die of a heart attack or you don't die of some other organ failure, then you're bound to get cancer because there is always radiation coming from outer space and doing all kinds of things to the cells in your body, and at some point some of them will change and become cancerous. And we have systems that can fend off these cancer cells, but at some point they fail, and as a consequence, if you live long enough, the likelihood that you're going to have a cancerous tumor is very, very high. My decision to go through chemotherapy at the age of 70 was not an easy one to make because I wasn't sure I wanted to do it. I actually thought perhaps I just let things go the way they are. The chances of getting another tumor of the same kind is not all that great. Of course, there is the possibility of metastases occurring, and that was why I decided to go against it. If I lived alone, if I hadn't bought this big house that we live in and didn't have a loving wife who seems to enjoy spending her time with me, I probably would not have done it. But under the circumstances, since we do live a very rich and full life, and I'm still enjoying myself very much, I have a number of other health issues, including Parkinson's disease, and they limit a little bit what I can do. I also have rheumatoid arthritis that keeps me from doing a lot of walking, and I have pains in my hands and so on. But these things are all, you can work with those. You can't really work with a metastasis or more tumors. So I decided to go through the 6 months of chemotherapy. 6 months means every 14 days I had to go into a clinic or a practice where there are beds and chairs that you sit in, and you get attached to various tubes that are coming from bags of chemicals that get put in your body to protect you mostly from then the drug that is going to do the work and do the damage, which is in this little pump here that I showed you. It's when they said you're going to be attached to a pump, I thought, oh my goodness, you know, batteries and all kinds of things. Well, in fact, this Baxter pump is a very clever device. It has no batteries, it has no moving parts. All it is really a bottle with a balloon inside, and the balloon is filled with the chemical, and the balloon has a very strong bladder, like rubber, I suppose it's silicone or something, bladder that forces the liquid back out, and it's metered just by a very tiny pinhole, so that it takes 48 hours for 240 milliliters, which is about 1 cup of liquid, to enter the port in my body here and do its damage, and it's good. 2 days after this pump is attached, then my wife detaches it. She uses, you have to put some chemicals through it first to clean it, to clean the port out and keep it from keep the blood from coagulating in the port. And she does that and then removes this needle, this cannula, and that's it then for 14 days. However, you feel bad. It doesn't make you feel good, of course. The drug makes you very tired, and in the end, it takes about 14 days for you to recover, and then of course you get the next load. This goes on for, as I said, for 6 months. 6 months is the maximum time it's possible to use this. I have to say, every cancer is treated differently, and as a consequence, what I experienced here is not what everyone will experience. Some chemotherapies are far worse than what I'm going through, especially for breast cancer and for some internal organ cancers. The drugs that are used are much worse. I was also given oxaliplatin, which is a platinum salt, and I had an almost fatal reaction, allergic reaction to that, so they had to stop giving me that. It's a balancing act, of course, and you have to want to live if you're going to go through it. And since I decided, you know, even though I'm 72, I did want to go on for a while. I took the 6 months of the unpleasant treatment, and I must say we've done quite a lot in that time. In spite of not feeling all that well, we've sanded all the floors in over 1,000 square meters of flooring in our house, and painted some walls, and done some other work. And I'm still trying to do some little things like this box that I'm making now. So I'm one of the reasons that I decided to speak about this was that people have asked me, and other people are going to go through the same thing, and I try to give them a certain amount of support in this, because it's not that bad, and it's for a limited period of time. You know that after 6 months you're going to be done with it, and you put it behind you, and you go on as long as you can. And I'm quite happy with the fact that I did it. We'll see how the results are. I'll be going in for testing every 3 months to make sure that I don't have a metastasis or other tumor, and if that works, then I will feel like it had been worth the effort. If I hadn't done this and then got a tumor, of course, then I blame myself. And like I said, if I had lived alone and didn't have a loving wife and a loving dog and a loving cat and many loving friends, I might have not done it. So thanks for watching. If you did watch this, I hope I haven't offended anyone, or that you don't find this inappropriate. I'll be possibly putting this up. I may put it up privately or as unregistered. We'll see. Thanks again for watching, and I'm going to have some more videos in the next few days. Bye.